Yo, this is Deontay the Bronx Bummer Wild, the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. And I'd like to give a big shout out to CJ Goodfellow of Sports TV. Bomb Squad, baby.
Make sure to check out our sponsor, Cell Phone Buyers Recyclers. They want to buy your cell phone, old, broken, or you're just trying to get rid of it. You can contact them right at the number on the screen, text or call. Also, their social media and website is in the description if that's more convenient. If you share their social media accounts on social media, get a chance to win an iPhone. Go check them out.
All right, man, we back. Goodfellow Sports TV. Derek James did an interview with Boxing Scene. It ain't pretty much him doing this interview or saying this, but he said that, you know, the money ain't right for the Errol Spence and Crawford fight. And at the end of the day, what's so funny about this got a direct correlation to what Floyd said. Floyd said, I ain't coming back in boxing to fight nobody that ain't got a country behind them. And we know most American combat fans are fans of the UFC because, you know, there are white fighters in the UFC and there's no white fighters in boxing that are prominent right now. And also, there ain't really no fighters to get behind because most of the people don't know the fighters because they don't have, you know, regular TV or high profile fights anymore. So at the same time, you know, let's talk about it. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. And basically basically this is what they telling him to say. Ain't enough money in the fight or whatever it is. You know, we got to build the fight up more. What more can you do to build the fight up? Crawford don't have no opponents that you trying to provide to help him get his profile up. Okay? Errol Spence fighting on pay-per-view is not going to boost his profile. They gave away 8,000 tickets for the Sean Porter fight. You know what I'm saying? And that's a fact. You know, Jerry Jones bought a lot of his tickets when he fought Mikey Garcia. So they losing money, you know, doing Errol Spence fights, and they probably losing money doing Terence Crawford fights. But what it boils down to is they don't want to pay two Negro fighters. See, it was cool for Wilder and Fury to fight. It was definitely cool for that to go down, like Young Jock, because a white boy was getting paid out of it. And I'm just going to keep it all the way a buck. A white boy was getting paid out of that whole situation. Had that been Wilder and another black American fighter that used to be lineal and did and went through everything that Fury went through, they wouldn't have found that type of money. They wouldn't have paid them $30 million guaranteed. And this is what Floyd is saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not fighting none of these niggas because they don't do no numbers. See, you had to read between the lines. You had to listen between the lines when he did that interview with Fight Hype yesterday. You had to really read and listen between the lines. Because he was dissing Adrian Broner, like, hey, man, they don't do no numbers. Basically, what he was saying was black fighters don't do no numbers. Black fighters don't move the needle. I ain't fighting nobody without a country behind them. And that's the same motherfucking approach that top ranking Bob Arum take. And that's the same approach Al Heyman take. And everybody talk about how black Al Heyman is. Al Heyman is pro-green. He ain't no pro-black. I'll tell you that right now. If he was, Gary Russell would be fighting Leo Santa Cruz. If he was, you know, he'd promote the Charlo twins better than he do. He trying to sacrifice both of them to Erickson Lubin, which is a black fighter, and David Benavidez. He don't care about them niggas. Real talk. So when they say it ain't enough money in the fight, when is the money gonna be there? They both 30 plus. They trying to build it to be Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. It'll never be that. They had never had that resume in boxing before they fought each other. Or even before it became a thing in 2009. Crawford and Errol had never had that resume that Pacquiao and Floyd had. They had been fighting since 96 and 98, whatever the fuck it was. They'll never have Morales, Moreira on there multiple times, you know, Corrales, Castillo. They'll never have those type of fights. Marquez, Cotto, Shane Mosley, Odo, whatever one you want to say. Margarito, Clottey. They don't have none of them high profile fights on their resume. You know, so, I mean, what you building up for? This would be one of those fights to help them get there. But all it boils down to is, it's the old narrative said in boxing. And Floyd, like I said, Mr. All Lives Matter, Mr. Butter, Buck Dancing, Buck Biscuit. Him and Curtis was great together. A rat coon and Curtis and just a big old full-blown raccoon in Floyd Mayweather. They was a great 1-2 punch. I don't have no sympathy for him, bro. No morals, no values. All they think about is money and they self. Two self-centered dudes. You can't. Two negatives can't make a positive situation. They was two negative people. And Floyd, instead of smashing that narrative and paving the way for black fighters to get money and to show that black fighters can sell and don't need a Mexican to sell, you know what he do? He matched his top fighter Gervonta against all Mexicans to breathe validity into that narrative. Shit whack. It's whack. And that's why you not gonna get this fight. And instead of Errol and Terence talking on the phone and saying, you know what, man, let's take less money and bet on ourselves on the back end. Let's take less money and show these promoters that we can make the money on the back end. Just give them our back end money. But you know, it's just like motherfuckers at work. When I used to work at GM, and I tried to, we tried to get the brothers together to go down there and get some things that we need to get done as far as our section in the plant. And motherfuckers, went around and told management, and they bug danced and told management. That's kind of how the black shit is. Everybody gangster, everybody pull up on everybody, you smack another black brother, but when a white man say something to you or smack you, you ain't got shit to say. Now when they should say, hey, look here, man, whatever you guarantee us, guarantee it. If it's $5 million a piece, it ain't, if it's $5 million a piece, fuck it, we take it. We gonna promote this shit. That's what two niggas that really want to fight would do. Two people that want to be in the same breath or same almost stratosphere as Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Muhammad Ali, they should sit together about, you know what, dude? Fuck this, man. Let's take less. Let's take less. Let's take less. You feel me? And show these dudes that we can sell. Let's show we can get this money on the back end. We can sign the fight 2 times. If everything go right the first time, and show them that we can sell, but the leadership ain't there. It got to be 2 to dance. Crawford could say he wouldn't do whatever he do till he blew in the face, and Errol Spence could say that too, until they put pen to paper. But then again, all they doing is just wasting their career on meaningless fights. Danny Garcia is not a legacy fight. At welterweight, he's trash. Sean Porter lost multiple times. You know what I'm saying? Keith Thurman, if he come back, that might be a legacy fight. You know what I'm saying? That could be. Either or. But it's just the way the game is right now. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? They just don't want to prove that we can sell. And they got these promoters and managers in their ear telling them that, hey, you niggas can't sell. I remember, and I always say this in my videos when we kind of talk about this situation. I always say this shit. I remember watching the James Brown biopic. And I'm watching the James Brown biopic, and he says that, he tells James Brown that black people don't buy records. They don't buy albums. And James Brown didn't understand what he was saying. He said, your people don't buy albums. He wanted to do, I think, a live studio album. He wanted to put a lot of money in studio time. And they told him he couldn't. He ended up being one of the, best acts of his time. Rest in peace to Little Richard as well, too. That little correlation between how James Brown was acting like he was Little Richard in the South. And then they finally ran into each other. And then, everything was all good. He gave James Brown some advice. But, till these brothers wake up and figure out that they can sell, take less money on the front end, but they don't want the powers that be don't want this fight to happen. You know what I'm saying? The powers that be, they talking these dudes out of making the best fight because they don't have their best interest, man. If Al really cared about Errol Spence being the star and they believe he could beat Errol Spence, they make this fight happen. If Terence, believe he can start and make the fight happen. But at the end of the day, it's a fight that, now I've said it ain't gonna happen. Town said it ain't gonna happen. And I think a lot of people deep in their heart know it ain't gonna happen. But, that's just how they disrespect the black fan. You know what I'm saying? They gonna continue to disrespect our dollar. But they tell us that our fighters don't sell, but we put trillions of dollars into the economy every day. They tell us that our fighters don't matter, but our fighters the best in the sport regardless. They put this narrative that, you got to be Mexican or Puerto Rican or from the UK to have a mass following, and that's not true. That's not true. If that's the case, then hey, just sign on Mexicans and shit. Just put them on there and see how far the sport go. It ain't no Mexican fighter that you can go in the hood and nobody care about. The only one they know is Canelo. It ain't no Mexican fighter they talking about, oh man, you see that knockout Canelo did, or you see that knockout that Luis Neri did. They try to push them in America, and I just don't get it, bro. How about connecting the fans together? They got the money is there for Crawford and Spence. If the money could be there for Tyson Fury, I don't care, nobody know him in America still. If the money can be there for him, and Wilder can get $30 million off fighting him, and they can ante up the money on Showtime for them to fight the first time, nobody knew who he was. He had one fight in America versus Steve Cunningham. That's a fact. Then he had a fight in there with Deontay Wilder on pay-per-view. Then he had a couple fights on ESPN Plus. His Gates wasn't doing good in Vegas. His numbers wasn't doing good in the UK, but they still put the money up because he a white man. And they know boxing is all about racism. They know white and black, Mexican, Puerto Rican, black and Puerto Rican, black and Mexican, and Mexican and white all sell. That's a fact. They know it, bro. When they say two black fighters, man, please. They ain't never going out their way to make that the massive fight. And if you don't believe me, look at Keith Thurman and Errol Spence. They never wanted that fight to happen. Never wanted that fight to happen. Tell me I'm lying. They never wanted that fight to happen. Had Keith Thurman or Errol Spence been Saul Sanchez or some shit like that, that fight would have been made. You know what I'm saying? But that's just what it is, bro. The Sean Porters and the Keith Thurman, I don't mind making minor fights like that, Broner and Porter. But when it comes to elite level fights where they got to really pay these brothers, they're not going out their way to pay these brothers, man. They not two of them. And that's sad, man. That's a real sad situation, bro. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. Goodfellas Sports TV. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'll put that article link in the description if you want to read it. Want to make a donation to the channel, Cash App, PayPal, in the description. Best way to donate, share the video. Happy Mother's Day to other mothers. One time for the one time. Goodfellas Sports TV. We go.